So we reviewed Nothing's first earbuds, the Ear 1, as part of the best earbuds under $100 last year, and my main takeaway, aside from them looking awesome, is that they were severely underrated. And that's because they were hyped up so much that everyone expected them to tank the AirPods Pro, and when they didn't, they were unfairly branded overhyped. But everyone seems to forget that the AirPods Pro cost $249, whilst Nothing's Ear 1 were only $99, at the time anyway. They offered incredible value for money. So I personally met the announcement of the new Ear 2 with just as much enthusiasm, even if no one else did. I've waited until now so I could pick up the black colour variant to actually review them because, well, come on, that's the one everyone wants. But since these also launch alongside the new advanced EQ and other updates, I think now is the perfect time to share with you my full thoughts. We're going to compare side by side with the original Ear 1s to see what's changed, and also how the Ear 2s compete in this now saturated market of great earbud options. Nothing's Ear 2 is an iteration on what came before with a mostly internal spec bump, so you can expect a similar experience from the outside, and that includes the unboxing. We get the usual paperwork, of course the charging case and the earbuds themselves, small and large ear tips, the mediums are attached already, and finally a short but braided USB-C cable. So that's better than the usual cheap ones you get, but I was a little bit sad we didn't get Nothing's new transparent cable. The charging case follows a similar design to the previous one, with the obvious difference being it's now much smaller and easier to fit into your pocket, which is great. But there's also a new tougher material added to both the inside and outside for added structural integrity and grip. I really like this case, and of course a huge part of that is in how cool this looks. It's one of Nothing's main and genuinely great selling points. The white version does show off the earbuds more clearly, but I personally love the new all-black aesthetic. Let me know which you prefer in the comments. They've made sure to keep the cases functional as well though, not only in their pocket-friendly size, but the earbuds are easy to access, the magnets work well, and they support convenient wireless charging too. There's even an IP55 rating for the case itself. Companies usually neglect the case for water and dust protection, and I think the pairing of Nothing's earbuds with their phones makes for the best looking earbuds and phone combo on the market right now. With the earbuds themselves, there's even less of a design change. Ear 2 are marginally taller, though could easily be mistaken for the first gen, but that's really not a bad thing. We still get that gorgeous transparent build that shows off all the internals, and once again, Nothing deserved to be commended for pulling off this difficult feat. This is how the earbuds look in the ear versus both the white version and the previous Ear 1, so these remain a small and relatively discreet earbud. They offer really great comfort too, thanks to being so lightweight and a reasonably secure fit. I can just about run with these, but they're not super secure, so for me they don't make the best workouts option, but you probably could get away with using these for that as well. Nothing slightly increased the durability by adding some dust protection, but the IP54 rating means these will only endure light splashes and still can't be submerged underwater. Now because the seal in the ear is quite gentle, even with the large ear tips, they're comfortable, but the passive noise isolation isn't the best, and this in turn affects the ANC performance. I actually described the Ear 1's ANC as good when I reviewed those, but given how much earbuds have massively improved since then, it's actually relatively poor now, and the Ear 2 does little to improve on that. The cancellation focuses mostly on the low-end frequencies, but still only gives a subtle noise reduction compared to the off mode. You do at least now get an adaptive ANC mode as well as a personalised option, which is supposed to be tailored to your ear shape, but I honestly couldn't hear much of a difference with this. At the very least, I wouldn't describe this as better than the other modes. So overall, these are only average noise cancellers at best. I'd love to say it was great for the price, but Soundcore recently came along and blew that idea out of the water with phenomenal ANC performance for well under $100. So perhaps just set your ANC expectations low. One saving grace could be the transparency mode, which does a good job of naturally amplifying your surroundings. There is a faint hiss, but the pass-through in general works really well and allows you to clearly hear what's going on around you. Also included in the app is some customization for the controls. You don't get complete freedom to remap each gesture, but still a decent range to personalize this. Notice how these are labeled for pinch gestures. Ear 2 swaps out the typical touch surface for a squeeze gesture on the stem, similar to AirPods Pro. I guess Nothing are still focused on making the Apple of Android. I think this control change will be hit or miss. Some will prefer the extra precision you can get with the squeeze, this can often be more reliable. However, you now lose the popular swipe for volume gesture on the stem, which actually worked really well on Ear 1. You can swap something to include volume control, but it's just not as intuitive with a squeeze gesture, so I personally prefer the older style controls. On the plus side, Nothing have kept wearing detection, and have tried to keep a good range of gestures by including a double pinch and hold command, which you don't often see. Elsewhere in the app we have toggles for in-ear detection, low lag mode, and find my earbuds. Those all return from the Ear 1s. The new features include an ear tip fit test, personalised ANC, which I mentioned earlier, toggles for dual connection or multipoint, and finally an option for high quality audio, which enables the LHDC codec. So the app now offers a more well-rounded feature set. Connectivity is one of the areas that has been really nicely improved. We get the latest Bluetooth 5.3 spec up from 5.2, the addition of multipoint is excellent, so we can now connect to 2 devices at the same time, and the new codec means the earbuds now offer 24-bit high-res audio. The downside is that not many devices support it. It's not like Sony's LDAC, where basically all Android phones have it. It's mostly Chinese brands like Oppo and Xiaomi, and if you have popular phones like Samsung's, Google Pixels, iPhones of course, you won't be able to get high-res audio. If you have a nothing phone, these do support it, and I'm sure that's just a complete coincidence and not trying to keep you in their ecosystem. Wow, I guess Nothing are well on their way to becoming the Apple of Android. These aren't exactly the market leaders for sound quality, so I guess it doesn't matter too much if you can't use this codec. I don't think the audiophiles were considering these anyway. We still get Google FastPair for quick and easy setup, Microsoft SwiftPair for Windows PCs and laptops, and there are no latency issues with videos. For gaming these are okay, and that low lag mode helps a lot, but it's not perfect and there are better earbuds for fast-paced gaming if that's your thing. Now one spec that sadly didn't get a big upgrade is the battery life. At just 5 hours, the Ear 1 are clearly on the low side for earbuds, and Ear 2 only increases this to 6 hours. That's provided you're not using ANC though, because if you do, then it drops down to a measly 4 hours. I definitely notice these running out a lot sooner than most of the earbuds I use. If you'll charge often and only need to listen for short periods, then this may be no issue, and you still get fast charging and wireless charging to make things more convenient.
Okay, so first of all, I'm recording through the original Nothing Ear 1, so you can hear how they compare to the new model. It's pretty windy today, and there's also some loud background noise like passing traffic, but these are doing a good job of isolating my voice. Some of you might remember when we first reviewed these, we said they were already a pretty good option for phone calls. And you're now listening to Nothing's Ear 2, and hopefully you can hear there is a subtle improvement in the microphone quality. I actually thought these were an excellent option for phone calls, and they've even made it into my top 5 against all earbuds for the microphone quality category.
Alright, let's talk about sound quality now, and on paper, these appear to offer the same 11.6mm drivers as before, but a new dual chamber design improves airflow to give brighter and clearer audio. That's what Nothing claim anyway, but to be fair and comparing side by side with Ear 1, you can hear this. I was more pleased with the bass improvement. There's generally more weight in the low end, which was lacking slightly before, even if the bass doesn't thump or boom in the way bass heads might enjoy. Straight out of the box, the sound is clear and pretty well balanced. I certainly didn't find the highs to be piercing, as some early reviews noted, but then again these have since received some software updates to improve this. Speaking of which, the launch of the black colour for Ear 2 came alongside the new advanced EQ. Previously we had this simple 3-band custom EQ, but it was rather limited. You now have 8 bands to play around with, plus you can fine-tune the specific frequency and Q factor as well. So this can be pretty complicated and goes far beyond what an average consumer will want to use, but I guess we can't really complain about customizing the sound now. There's a new personalized sound feature as well, which tests your hearing and produces a tailored equalizer according to your results. I found the test a bit more tricky to complete than some other earbuds, but the result did give me a slight improvement over the default tuning. Once you're done, you're able to adjust the intensity of this new sound profile, and it did further enhance the clarity for me. One flaw I've noticed with these though is that there's a big EQ shift when switching to the off listening mode. ANC and transparency mode sound good and the same, but when I go to off mode, the bass drops considerably and the mid-range sounds hollow and unrefined. This is really disappointing, not just because of the lack of consistency, but also because the ANC isn't that great with these, and I'd normally prefer to listen in off mode to save on battery, so I really hope this is fixed with an update soon. Look, are these one of the market leaders for sound quality? No. But EQ shift aside, I think it's more than good enough for the average listener and a nice step up from the first gen Nothing earbuds as well. I think in general these earbuds are a nice step up from the original Ear 1, even if the improvements aren't groundbreaking, and for that you'll need to spend $149. Now although that's a 50% increase, Nothing did raise the price of Ear 1 to this amount anyway. I still think the design is the best reason to get these earbuds, and therefore it's going to be hard to tempt Ear 1 owners to upgrade. But for those of you looking at both, there are compelling reasons to get the new Ear 2 instead. The addition of multipoint, the improved sound and calls, and the extra customization options. The competition is strong though, and to be frank, there are better options in pretty much every category, most notably for the noise cancellation, which isn't great here. Let's just say that these aren't going to place in my Earbuds Awards videos. The thing is though, that this industry moves on at lightning speed. There's always going to be a better pair of earbuds, each of them with their own individual strengths, and each person has different priorities for these. The Ear 2 strength just happens to be this awesome design, but it's not as though the rest of the specs and features aren't pretty solid too. So if you want to get these purely because they look awesome, I'd say go for it. These don't exactly cost a fortune, it's pretty reasonable for what you get, and if you end up finding an aspect lacking, then you've just identified what you can look for in your next pair of earbuds. So what do you think? Has Nothing done enough to convince you to finally pull the trigger on these? And were you also waiting for the black colour variant to drop, because I can't be the only one? Next week we'll have the full Nothing Phone 2 review, as well as a comparison with all of the best mid-range phones on the market right now. So make sure you're subscribed and have hit that bell icon so you get notified when those videos go live. If you found this video helpful, then please give it a like. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all soon.